You are Travis Scott's attorney. We've seen him say that he's heartbroken and he's very devastated by the events that took place at Astrofest. How is he doing now, and what is his state of mind?
You know, his state of mind really hasn't changed. I don't think he's left the house since he got there after the show. He's devastated by this. There's no question, and wants to get to the bottom of it. It's unfortunate that everyone's doing finger pointing at this point because he just wants to get to the bottom of it and figure out what went wrong.
I know that he did put out a video, and again, you talk about people pointing fingers, and there was some criticism towards it. Have you advised him at this point to maybe stop speaking out on social media?
Well, we've had this. He's very frustrated because he wants to talk to people. He just doesn't seem. He doesn't feel like the message is getting out there. That he just couldn't control this. That he couldn't see this. And so the few times that he was able to see specific instances, he stopped the show and he called security and tried to get them.
What about when he saw the ambulance going through the crowd?
You know what? My understanding was the ambulance was really basically a golf cart with lights on it. I think he did stop for a bit and say, hold your hands up if you're okay. That was, I think, the second time that he stopped a bit, but he was just very confused by that.
But when was that final definitive moment where they knew that there was a massive problem here at Astrofest?
You know what? Travis's defining moment was the next day. He honestly didn't know anything about the magnitude of this until after the show. When someone told him to pull the plug and stop the show early, that's exactly what he did, and he stopped it, I think, considerably early. He certainly hadn't been told that anyone had passed away there, and so he did his best to keep performing, not knowing what was going on, and assuming that the people that were in charge of that were taking care of that.
We've seen that video go viral of the young girl approaching the cameraman and saying, "Stop the show. There are people who are injured, who are hurt, who can't breathe." At any point did that person and that information get to Travis Scott and his crew while he was on stage?
Certainly not. My understanding was that she was 50 yards away from the stage. She says that she was yelling, and nobody at Travis's crew heard any of that.
What about after the show was over? I know that there are reports that Travis Scott was celebrating, probably Astrofest and with friends at Dave & Buster's after the concert. At any point during the night, was that communicated to Travis about what was happening at Astrofest?
He went to a preset party at Dave & Buster's, stayed there literally for minutes, and was leaving when people in his crew started to understand, started to hear what was going on, and told Travis at that point some of what was going on. They still didn't know the full extent of it. And that's at that point when Travis went home, and he's been home ever since.
When you hear people talking about Travis Scott and the concerts, the type of concerts that he has, and the history that has followed with some of those concerts about inciting fans, he's been arrested before about inciting fans for, to riot and things of that nature. What would you say to that?
Travis has always stepped up. Even back then, he pled guilty to the charges that were against him. Travis has really grown, I believe, as an artist. And so he would say things and people would react and sometimes overreact. And it's a fine line between trying to get the audience revved up and excited and engaged and out of their seats and creating chaos. And a lot depends on the audience too, of course. But I think he's matured a lot in the last several years, and I think he understands now the power that he wields up there and does not abuse it, and certainly didn't abuse it in this case.
I know that Travis has stepped up and said that he wants to offer refunds to the concert goers. He stepped up and said he wants to pay for the funerals of the victims. How do you handle that?
We're just trying to help the families heal. Travis is trying to reach out to the families. He set up an email address specifically for the purpose of allowing families to contact his team. So he's doing everything he can. I mean, basically, aside from the lawsuits, we want to get everything investigated to figure out what went wrong.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.